I've been reviewing your file, and it seems as if you have an addiction to 3 Wise Radio.
Quick, name the Pokemon. Go.
Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle.
In order.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. Let me rewind that. Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree, Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, Pidgeotto.
Classic.
The question is, can all 151 Pokemon fit inside one person? We'll find out today. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, technology, the internet, and pretty much everything else media-related. My name is Joe Greller. I am joined, as usual, by Garrett Welker and Sam Pixley. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Joe.
Yep,
Good evening, Joe.
I'm off the other...
He's caved.
I've caved.
Good. It was the right move for you and for us. As a team and as an individual. I'm proud of you. You're making great strides.
I'm making
2017,
progress.
year for change. At least that's what everybody says. I'm so glad it's almost February, so all that can die down.
That's not going to die down. It'll be December. It'll be like the year for change.
Well, you already
Last minute change.
You already don't hear people complaining about how horrible 2016 was. Like that kind of has already gone by the wayside.
Until now, you just bringing it back up.
Yeah, but I don't listen to you.
That's,
So,
that's
Bada bing.
very fair.
Two birds, one stone
No,
situation
that wasn't even
here.
a joke. It's just real life.
Well, speaking of 2017, it's our first installment of this year's Movie Train, coming off the Inferno review from last October. And when it is the Movie Train, that means Natalie is usually around here. So, Natalie, how are you?
It's a stretch.
Hey, now. I'm good. Sick, but good.
Sick, but good. All right. Split is the movie that we were going to see for the Movie Train.
We did see it.
We did see it.
Mission accomplished.
So also on the show, because it's written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, we're going to be going over the Shyamalanian twists, I think is
The road thus far.
basically.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm trying to figure out, what did they call it in It's Always Sunny? They did a whole episode.
I don't watch that show.
Oh. They did a whole episode around
I don't remember that one.
M. Night Shyamalan. They're on the set, and they're all extras on a Shyamalan film, but it's not like a twist film or anything. Like, this is about genocide and like an actual thing that happened. And they're like trying to figure out the twist.
What the
entire
twist
time.
is?
Yeah.
That's clever.
And they're like, there is no twist. So
Sometimes he doesn't have twists.
yes.
I would argue that some of his twists are in fact not twists.
And maybe that's the Shyamalaniest twist of it all.
Maybe. I think the biggest one is that he wrote Stuart Little.
What?
Yep.
Same. I found that out today.
That little
Shit.
mouse.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess first and foremost, then some headlines. Starting with the biggest one to come out today. Star Wars Episode 8 has a title finally, and it is called The Last Jedi. So we will be getting
Oh
Star
my
Wars
God.
Episode 8, The Last Jedi. First impressions of this.
Cool.
Cool?
I may have.
So many
screwed up a little
questions.
bit.
Who's the last Jedi? Is it
Jedi.
Luke?
Jedi is also plural for Jedi. So it could just mean that Rey and Luke are both the last Jedi. So
Or is Kylo the last Jedi?
Ooh.
At a point, he could become Jedi. I mean, at some point there weren't Jedi, so just to say it's the end of Jedi,
I'm not
must be another one.
thrilled with this title.
Really?
Only because it's one episode removed from Return of the Jedi. So it's Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi. But, like, you can't use Jedi ever again in the Star Wars. Are we going to get an episode? I am certain that we're going to get a predestined episode 10, 11, 12. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So are no Jedi going to be, is the Force just kind of going to go by the wayside then in this? Like, to me,
No.
The Last Jedi means there are no more. Unless they're going to horror franchise this and be like, we said final chapter, but we didn't mean final chapter.
I mean, it could be like they thought there was only one left, but
We've done that already,
yeah,
though.
that's true.
I mean, it's the last samurai. There were more samurai still. Just happened to talk about the white one.
No, they all died. He's the last one at the very end of the film.
There's other ones somewhere in that village.
Gotta be.
There's got to be some kind of coward samurai.
That was
no,
the whole point of
those
that
weren't
film.
all the samurai in the world. Were not in that one village.
They were a
Nope.
dying breed. That was the whole point of the film.
Yes, yeah. So are these Jedi, but it's not saying that there's not more of them out there. The Empire thought there were no Jedi forever. It turns out there were more. And also, Jedi came from nothing. They can be reborn again. It's not like the last Force. Like, the Force is just gone. The Force is still a thing.
Then at what point are we crying wolf on this? Because they're then not the last.
I mean, Rey could be the last Jedi, and then look at that, she has children. Those children are
A
Jedi.
Jedi.
That's fine.
That's
I
true.
just want an episode 12. The Last Jedi again. Not really, though. We're coming back in 5 years. You know this is happening.
Whoops, there were more.
And just keep writing. Like
That'll
scroll,
be their working title.
It's better than what the
no, the
rumored
opening
title
scroll
was.
Scroll is the
just the
title.
title. The entire length of the scroll. What?
It's better than what, like, the working title or what they thought the title. They thought it was going to be something stupid like Force for Hope or Hope of Force or some BS.
Well, if it helps, The Dark Knight, while they were filming, was titled Roy's First Kiss, so we always can't go by that.
No, it wasn't the working. Sorry, it wasn't the working title. It was just what people rumored that it was going to
Gotcha.
be. I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Could have been Star Wars: Leia's Last Dance.
Oh.
Alliteration. She's still dead.
She's still dead. In other
Twist.
movie news,
No, she's not.
and basically lying when you say it might be the last time, Green Lantern casting is out and about, and The Wrap is reporting one of many names is in fact Ryan Reynolds is back up to play Hal Jordan again, apparently, in the Green Lantern. He joins the likes of Joel McHale, Bradley Cooper, Armie Hammer, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Tom Cruise.
Most of those are horrible choices.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
I know you want Joel McHale, don't you?
No, it would be horrible.
I don't think Joel McHale would make a.
joke.
I think Armie
I like
Hammer's,
Joel McHale a lot.
Armie Hammer's probably my.
That's who
My
I would have
choice.
went. I would have went with
Tom Cruise
Hammer as
should
well.
Stop. Just stop. Stop.
I mean, he's good.
Yeah, but like not like
Should stop what? I mean, there's plenty of things he should stop.
He's-
Acting isn't one of them.
Did you see Tropic Thunder?
yeah, I did.
Maybe his best acting
was
role.
so great.
I
one of the few
like him
movies.
as an actor. It's just like he's past the point of playing these characters. I feel like Green Lantern. He's no
Oh, I would
longer,
agree
like,
with that. He's too old to play a
he's too old.
superhero.
He's too old to play.
I would say
that
He's not too
leading-
old to be in that universe, though.
No, absolutely
No,
not.
but I thought Hal Jordan's supposed to be the young one.
You'd
It-
think, but let's just turn it all on its head. I mean, none of those choices really scream at me. For some reason, I don't think he's right for this, but for some reason, I just want Scott Eastwood to star in something.
I do too.
To know if
okay
I
with
should
that.
stop thinking he should be in something.
We know what he should be. When they redo Wolverine, you're gonna give it to the son of the man who you modeled Wolverine after for the past decades about.
Yeah.
Sure.
Every time it's been
down for
modeled
that.
after Eastwood, and they always said like Eastwood would have made like the perfect Wolverine had you done it like back when the character first debuted. I think he'd be perfect for that role if you really want to cast him in a superhero movie.
The next Wolverine is probably not going to be a male.
Yeah.
You'll always need a Logan to tell where they came from, even in flashbacks. So, I suggest him for Logan. What's funny about this list, though, is every actor on this list has ties in some shape or form to previous superhero castings.
Are we scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point?
What do you mean?
Going back, are we recycling now?
I mean, we might be. Like, Gyllenhaal was supposed to be Spider-Man when Maguire had arguments with the studio, which is what the Aquaman storyline and Entourage is based off
I think at
of.
this point also everybody's been in talks or rumored at some point to be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So
It's such a vast.
you didn't mention the best name on there though, did you?
This was all I could find from the rap. Reynolds, McHale, Cooper, Hammer, Gyllenhaal, Cruise.
The best suspected, James Marsden.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't in the article I saw, but I remember you talking about that off air. Yeah, I forgot about that because he wasn't in the article
It
I
was
saw.
in a secondary article
I do
that said, "Wait a minute, just kidding, we struck gold."
With James Marsden.
He's a good-looking guy.
And
I'll
deserves
second that.
retribution. Speaking of the X-Men universe, Logan had a new trailer this past week. just dropped, and a couple of things also revealed with the trailer. The movie is set in 2029, so
5 years after any X-Men movie's taken place.
Yeah.
very true. And also, there are comics of the X-Men in
I
this
like that.
universe. But did you look closely at it? One, they were made for the film, so those aren't real X-Men comics. And two, the cover had no sign of Marvel on it.
Say it again.
The cover had no sign of Marvel on it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Would it? I mean, just because it's still a Marvel property. I'm just
Well, right, but you wouldn't put that.
I mean,
I guess legally they could be like, hey, but I mean, you wouldn't in that movie universe. You wouldn't put the Marvel logo because it would just be
just before the movie, not during the movie. You just put it up before the movie.
because you have to.
I mean, even still, like he even says, like in the trailer, like half the shit didn't happen. It didn't happen like this. Like,
Oh God, war's hell. God, that trailer was so good though. I loved that trailer. You know what I loved about it? The thing about it the most is what it felt like watching that trailer, and part of the seeing like the comic in it was a big part of it too. But what did it for me the most was that it felt like the Deadpool trailer in terms of this was a purely creatively fueled project, which Jackman has said over and over again is they were just like, do what you want to do. Like, whatever you want to do, just do it. So it felt fresh. It felt like a really kind of just, it feels like it's going to be like a really honest movie as to what they wanted it to be. Nobody stepped in, nobody changed anything. And it just felt like they were really making it their own. It's like everybody nowadays is like, whenever you make a what's the first thing you do when you hear that like they're making a trilogy or they're making it? It can also be a standalone. Like, this seems like it could also be a standalone movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, genuinely.
And your best one should be that way, I believe. When there's too much setup, it doesn't feel like you get Iron Man 2, I guess, is my main point.
And I'm completely on board with X-23.
Yeah, which is interesting because I think you flopped on that now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys gotta accept it. If you Jackman's okay with it happening, I gotta be okay with it happening.
it's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm still praying that like they kidnap X-23, and at the end, I mean, you saw Wolverine in the costume, so I still pray that at the end he's like one last ride, and then puts on the costume to save the day. It's not gonna happen. It would make no sense, and it would probably be a really dumb way to wrap it up. But I would
What if we
still
get it in like
it.
a flashback?
Because the costume is in the comic.
Like, what if we get the flashback?
That's what I'm saying.
Like the flashback of him killing the X-Men is him in the suit.
That's
And that's why he's like,
that's,
I'm never touching the suit again.
That's totally what happens. I'm betting that
He'll
that's
be in the suit when he
definitely-
In
kills
the
him?
suit?
No, not in the suit, but that there is a flashback of him killing. I think that's why Hugh Jackman was like, well, like it's kind of our own world. We're able to do whatever we want. It's like, yeah, because you slaughter everybody. And who does it? Who makes him do it? Mysterio. Fucking Mysterio. The best.
But it won't be this time.
No, it definitely won't. I mean, maybe Marvel threw him that property and was like, yeah,
Just for this.
okay.
Just for you.
But then you'd never get him in a Spider-Man film. Is that a fair trade-off for you as a Mysterio fan? If you get him in this...
Yeah, because he's not going to be a center stage of a Spider-Man film. I'll take what I can get. Scrapper's got to scrap, man. It was better than that stupid Power Ranger trailer, though.
That's what I was getting to. The Power Ranger
I
trailer
just
came
wanted to
out.
get there for you.
That's fine. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Fine.
I thought it was great because what people hate is the fact that these monsters are made out of rock. But the reason I love it, it didn't look as good with Goldar. But
Goldar looked horrible.
But the putties, it makes perfect sense because the putties in the original are made out of clay and they just grow them. And so why not change it around, update it a little bit? You know, Batman's not running around in tights anymore. Our putties don't need to be made out of clay and rubber.
Wearing morph suits.
Yeah. So I mean, let's update it.
Well,
Let's
the problem is that those putties would not go woo, make like the putty noise that putties make, which is
okay.
this is like the most nostalgia-driven movie, and I guess they have done a good job of not really like. They haven't really been nostalgia-driven like at all. Like I haven't seen any nods to anything other than that these are Power Rangers, but you can't really nod the entire movie.
Do you think? Okay, so like we're talking about this now as like Power Rangers. What were some other nostalgia-driven properties that have come out in the past couple of years? Because I know this isn't the first.
Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Transformers, G.I. Joe. Okay, these are like cartoons when we were young and everything else,
Sure.
and we remember it. Do you think that our parents and other stuff, and there were people like us did this when things like when they made movies from television shows of their childhood, when they did like
No
the
one got excited about
Flintstones
Flintstones.
or
No.
I'm pretty positive.
the Mont or Charlie's
John
Angels.
Goodman.
Maybe.
What'd you say?
I said, but John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that?
No, not to this. I don't think to this extent.
So what does that say?
I
Like, because Power Rangers.
honestly, I
you
don't
put it
think we
side by
knew
side.
about it because they didn't have the outlets that we have to talk about it.
But I mean, I
Yeah.
am just saying, like, we are nostalgic and defensive of a show that, on the surface, if we saw today for the first time, would be like, this piece of garbage looks so bad. But people like will watch the Flintstones or something like that, or Charlie's Angels, and be like, all right, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? They'll
Yeah.
be like, it's fine. And it's a better quality product than something like Power Rangers, and yet we're more protective of a Power Rangers.
Hey, maybe
Then
that's also got a
nostal-
lot to do with the culture, like not the culture that we live in, or just the generation that we live in. Like if I asked my dad, he would be nostalgic about going outside, like playing sports,
That
do it
damn
like
outside movie didn't do it
doing
justice.
stuff. Like, what was the highlight of your
Going
childhood?
outside.
Flintstones. No, it was probably like playing stickball. He's not that old.
Nostalgia is a really powerful thing, though. Like, no matter
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I just think it's kind of our generational thing to be
Driven by
really
nostalgia.
into nostalgia.
Yeah, I think
especially since nostalgia is trendy.
Novelty to.
We're just terrible. It's gross.
Speaking of terrible, the Razzie nominations came out this past
Dang
week.
it! I thought you were going to talk about Bryan Cranston in Power Rangers.
We've moved on. In which
Sam-
He
version?
should too.
Sam
It looked
hasn't-
horrible. It was horrible.
He's a floating head.
It was horrible.
It's a horrible floating head. You know what? All the other floating heads in the past have been way better than this.
Wizard of Oz, bro.
Exactly. That floating head is one for the record.
The other floating heads weren't as recognizable. That was just Bryan Cranston floating around like, you're the Power Rangers. You're Bryan Cranston.
Yeah,
What are you
didn't even,
doing?
like change his voice or anything. But what
Bill,
else?
Alpha still looks like a little pervy alien thing.
Oh, I think he looks worse
He
than he
did.
did.
Those two, they belong together.
All right. As I was saying, the Razzie
Razzies.
nominations came out. Worst Picture nominees. I'm not going to go through all of them, so I'm just going to go through Worst Picture nominees. Batman vs. Superman, Dirty Grandpa, Gods of Egypt, Hillary's America, Independence Day Resurgence, and Zoolander 2.
Ooh.
You can't give it to a political one just because none of them are good.
Right.
That's true.
And they're pushing for
Gods of
something
Egypt,
else.
man.
Gods of Egypt or
Zoolander 2.
no, what was the one before Zoolander 2?
Dirty Grandpa.
Independence Day Resurgence.
Independence Day.
Independence
I
Day
didn't see that one.
Resurgence may just be the worst.
Really?
Oh, it's so
Was it
bad.
that bad?
I think Gods of Egypt is worse because Independence Day 2 also has the nostalgia factor of like there's more, I guess.
Okay,
it depends on how you want to weigh it.
Remove that out of it. Looking as a former film student, purely, you saw both. Looking as a pure film student, which one was worse?
I said that looks like hot garbage less in Independence Day.
All right.
Dude, Gods of Egypt looked horrible.
Okay. So you're saying
Terrible.
Independence Day was better than
Independence
Gods of
Day
Egypt.
was a little bit. I mean, we're talking edged it out here. We're not. Yeah, this isn't high praise.
Clearly, it's the Razzies.
Yeah,
Damn.
So is our vote for Gods of Egypt?
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman.
Oh, it's a terrible movie. What a flop.
In television news, Samurai Jack is returning to Cartoon Network March 11th to finally have a fifth and final season. I was unaware that this was one of the many series that had ended on a cliffhanger for years.
Yeah, how long
So-
has it been off of?
It ended in 2004.
Wow.
So it's been
Very nice.
they've talked about doing a movie for a few years, and now apparently they're completely doing a final season once again. Phil Lamar is back as the voice of Jack.
No, thank God.
Good.
Garrett, I know you've seen this.
Doesn't he
Yeah.
fight robots?
Yeah, he fights robots and just crazy alien creatures.
As I say, so for those of us who don't know much about Samurai Jack, explain a little bit of it.
So we have we have the character of Jack, who is sent forward in time by this evil force wizard. I don't know what he is. They have a whole episode on his origin, but they never actually explain like what he is. He's kind of like the embodiment of evil, and he sends him forward into the future where Aku has been terrorizing and being a tyrant over the universe for thousands of years. So it's a complete culture shock for him. It's like some of the stuff like cars and stuff like flying cars. He's like, whoa, what is this? So it's just him trying to return back to his own time so that he can stop Aku back in the past before this future becomes a reality. So
Is he the last samurai?
I was just gonna...
yeah, yeah, he is.
Okay. Seems like there's a lot of last samurais going around.
Different properties.
Which means...
Lucas made sure there's no other properties to Star Wars. Also in TV news, we talked about this a few weeks ago. The musical crossover episode of Flash and Supergirl has cast a music meister, and no surprise, it is another former Glee alum, Darren Criss.
That turned me off.
That is another former Glee alum? Even though,
Yeah.
didn't you speculate, though, that you said?
Yeah.
You're like, they're both Glee, it'll be good. And
Yeah, but sometimes you really look forward to something.
Darren
and
Criss
then
is
you
first
get
and
it, and
foremost
you're like, oh, man.
a Broadway star.
Oh!
First and foremost. So he's actually talented,
So
minus the Glee thing.
people on Glee aren't talented? People on Glee aren't talented?
No, definitely talented. I just... Glee is such a bad misrepresentation of musicals and...
Seems pretty accurate to me. But that's looking from
Yeah,
the outside. You don't know what it's really like, though.
I will always admit, I thought it was a cool concept. I remember watching the
absolutely.
trailer for the pilot and being like, I'm going to watch that. And I never did. And,
I
then
did.
it came
I
out.
watched
and
it for
people,
years. Yeah.
Show's gross.
So you're no longer excited for the musical episode.
Oh. Sure.
I feel like they're just kind of overdoing it with the Glee stuff now. It's like, oh, let's just you just get the whole cast together and just do a reunion if you want to do this. Like, why not get some other sort of musical talent? You know, like, I don't know.
I love this. Now you're on my side after what you predicted came true. You both are against the musical episode like I was. I believe only as little as 2 weeks ago.
I'm not against it. It's just when I'm scrolling down and I see a link and it's like, Glee actor cast as Music Meister. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was coming. But then when you see the picture of them cheesing, doing the same cheese and smile that everybody on that damn show's doing now, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why they brought back Eddie Thawne? Just so he can cheese it up during the musical
No one
episode?
cheeses like Eddie Thawne because it's not cheesing. It's 100% genuine. There's no cheesing when it's all natural. Right? That's what cheesing is, right?
Yeah.
That is what it is,
that
right?
is exactly
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
I'm using that word
Absolutely
right.
correct.
All right.
Because you say cheese and when you smile, so...
All right.
Yeah. Do we have any other headlines?
He was going to say it again.
No.
Speaking of musicals, 23 people in a musical might be a lot, but it's not enough to fit into one man's body, apparently. The movie train Split coming up in a second. I got a million of those.
That didn't have anything to do with music.
3. Why? 3 wise.
Radio.
The first movie train of 2017 is out, and, well, we saw Split, and we picked Split off of the Inferno review way back in issue number 51. So we'll get to the trailers in a little bit and figure out where we're headed next on this train, but let's take a stop here with Split, starring James McAvoy in, I'm going to be honest, a great role. The man did good. I mean, from everything we saw from the trailers...
I think he did more than good. I think this is
Great.
his best role.
No.
There's a lot of range.
I mean, this is this is not just one role. Like this is
Right. Okay. That's an interesting point.
roles.
No, on not his best role. I can't go that far back into McAvoy's library. So then, Sam, what is his best role?
X-Men.
All right.
Okay.
That's fair enough. I mean,
It's not X-Men, but I don't think it's this either. He's really good in it, but I don't think this is his best work.
okay, so the movie starts off with right away, he doesn't beat around the bush or anything else. Shyamalan takes you right into this and you know what? It's a thriller, but it's done very well as a horror movie as well. Yeah. From keeping things in the dark to climactic scenes where it feels like you're trying to beat a clock. There's a lot of horror staples that I saw done with this film that I think are great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was without being like super predictable too. It wasn't the normal.
Yeah. Because a lot of the things that I was predicting in this show or in this movie, like,
Yeah,
didn't
I was
happen.
super surprised
So.
by a lot of things.
Really?
Yeah.
I really liked this movie, but apart from the end, it was incredibly predictable to me.
I mean, it's in the sense of a horror
there was
movie.
no point nothing surprised me.
I think the last third of it is when my predictions were like, that's not what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Well, especially with
That's
like,
bizarre. That's so strange.
especially with not just his character, but the girls as well. It was so interesting.
I suppose no. This is just bizarre because usually I'm not good at reading movies. It's not a strength of mine.
It's like
But this was like the whole time. It was completely.
More so than the average horror movie, or
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't feel like. Well, because maybe not in a horror movie. Because again, like you said, like this is similar to a horror movie, but I saw this as more of going to be a thriller. I thought there were going to be more twists and turns that were. I hate to say twists with him, but like more
We'll get to
more
that.
things that were discovered. Nothing in this movie was discovered. Like there was no piece of the puzzle that started to fall into place. Like it was all laid out there at the very beginning, and nothing changed. Things just happened that they said at the beginning were going to happen. So just like it was good, but it wasn't. At no point it was like, oh nuts, that's happening, because we covered it in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
I think my thing is that like even if I thought that, I was still so enthralled in the story that
Grandeur of it.
really didn't matter to me. Like I wasn't. Those weren't thoughts that went through my head. I was just really focused on what was happening.
you couldn't split your attention.
I thought
Oh,
I thought fake Kendall Jenner was really good.
the lead.
Yes,
Casey.
We're talking about in looks only, right? Not in personality, because I feel like this.
I don't know
she-
what Kendall Jenner's personality looks like. I just see pictures of her.
Gotcha. Well, I just meant like this person probably contributes more to society
Yeah.
than Kendall
Maybe.
Jenner. Well, she
Talent.
acts.
She is hers is a talent. Anyway, I thought
She looks like Kendall Jenner. I thought she was good. I don't know what her name is.
I liked that they went so far into her story, or like gave us a lot of her story as well.
We are on totally different wavelengths in this. I wanted so much more from her. I thought she was interesting.
You wanted more
Yeah.
in the
I wa-
flashbacks
I
describing
wanted
her,
more.
or
I wanted maybe not
more
from
in the setup, or
more in flashbacks, but not just around that one resounding event. Like I wanted to see kind of how
Okay, I'll
the
agree with
rest
that.
of her horrible past.
I'll agree with that.
and maybe that is a production thing, because this is a Blumhouse production, and Blumhouse is famous for you have a budget, you stick to it. This is how we make our money. And once again,
They're about to
This
blast
one-
through.
this
Or
one-
they already have, right?
Yeah.
This movie cost $10 million to
yep,
make.
and
Wow.
it made $40 million opening weekend, double of what Triple X made this past weekend.
Triple X only cost like $10 million plus $70 million.
For Vin
That's
Diesel's
so
accessories, possibly.
I think it was like $87 million to make that movie.
Triple X?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, but this is Blumhouse's formula. They sit down, like The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez did it for him last year. They sit down and they turn out like 20 movies per year, and none of them cost more than $5 million or $10 million to make, and then they wait for the big one to hit, and then they reap the benefits and greenlight all the next ones.
There you go.
The casting of the little girl was so good.
The baby girl,
The
or
little girl, like when her flashbacks,
Yeah, she
Casey's
was good. I
flashback,
liked her a lot.
They looked so similar.
And that, you're right, and that's important because not only in TV and movies, you see so many times where it's like this little Dexter, this little kid doesn't look like he's gonna grow up to be this man.
But no, I looked at her and I immediately was like, "Holy shit, that's really good casting, really good casting."
Except her hair was curly, and the other girl's hair is straight.
Well, my hair
And it
texture changed as I grew up.
Prove it.
My hair's curly and now I'm
Okay.
bald.
Well, that's a little bit of different worlds.
She could straighten her hair as well.
Did anybody else feel like did those flashbacks feel almost like Wes Anderson-y?
No, because there wasn't.
It felt like
If he would have pulled,
strange.
like, okay, so a lot of the flashbacks take place around a hunting trip. If, like, the dad would have been, like, I guess, sipping tea and talking about, like, the economics of Eastern Europe, then yeah, I could see where you would make that correlation.
I was really uncomfortable
Because
with
it's
the flashbacks.
quiet.
The
And I
flashbacks
think you're supposed to be.
They were so
yeah.
like they were so queer. Like everything was like slightly off. Even the way like his brother handed him beers. It was like the way
Yeah.
it was shot was really interesting. So that the entire time everything felt extremely uncomfortable,
And, yep.
even in the scenes where nothing had become uncomfortable yet.
Well, I think it's because they focused so much on her that the way it was shot was like always
That to me is
focused
her
their
perception,
attention
maybe.
on her.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was so strange and just
It
like,
was strange. It felt very, very peculiar every
which
time.
is why I would have liked to see more of that from a different age bracket too, to see if they could have maintained that. But I guess you don't need it.
I also love how like I just loved her character in general. How she was, sort of outcasted, but then like, I mean, it's kind of like the typical outcast, and then she comes to the rescue. But she was so perceptive and like so. I don't know. I just really liked how her character not developed because I guess it really. I mean, she was the same person
nobody
throughout.
developed.
She didn't really develop, but I mean, I just really liked her character's journey through this.
No, it's a great background story as to why she becomes basically the fighter on trying to get out. I thought they did very well, and yes, it's a lot of stereotypes you see in horror movies, but they did a very good job of, because I could see this happening where you have in real life the girl who's a little bit popular, thinks she knows it all, everything else.
Very
You
smart.
have her secondary friend who does everything she says, and then you've got this other girl who's timid and quiet, and it's always you're always told when you're young, it's the quiet ones you need to watch out
Yeah.
for, because they're the ones thinking, they're the ones doing stuff. I mean, my parents told me that, would reiterate that all the time, like it's always the quiet ones because they're the ones who are flying below the radar, and like you're not really paying attention. That's why they get away with stuff.
And I think the hunting thing was really important too because it made her character more aware of her surroundings. So like she saw everything because I've never hunted, but I'm sure you need a lot of
Awareness.
spatial
Well,
awareness.
they talk about the patience and everything else. They
Yeah.
do a great job in setting that up right off the bat of it.
Whereas the other ones were freaking out, and she was like, "No, we have to look at every situation here," and how she handled well, I suppose we should talk about the.
I think what was most
Personalities.
what was most impressive to me about her character was instead of every movie, I guess this was the only thing for me that was really different, is every movie a character progressively gets stronger and like, I'm not going to take this anymore. She started really strong, and then there were one or two turning points in the movie where she got broken and started
kind of
falling, and there really wasn't
Yeah.
a point even towards the end when it was how the end took place. She was still always on her back foot. There wasn't that moment where like the lone survivor pumps a shotgun and is like, I'm taking the fight to them. Like
Yeah.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was interesting too, to
It
see
made it a little bit more
see
real.
a character start strong and progressively get broken down. That was different than what we've normally seen.
And how she treated every one of his personalities differently was really interesting.
Sure, I mean that
Like with Hedwig and with
being able to manipulate the person who could, you don't know who you're talking to.
right.
So
And she understood that right away, where the other girls didn't. They were like, "This guy's a freak," and she's like,
and
"No,
that's,
no."
but that's an interesting point. Like, I don't know if I would think right away to start talking
No,
to someone else.
absolutely
if you're
not.
abducted, I'd be probably in panic mode, trying to
Oh.
figure out a way out, doing all the other stuff. That's why I did understand where the other two girls were coming
Right.
from.
Yeah, and then there was a great line when the one girl, after their first incident with him, Like, it was like, oh, God, we were just sitting there sobbing. We should have attacked. Like, this is victim shit. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's your gut response. You
Because
can
that's
say,
what
this is what I
happens,
would
yeah.
do, or this is what I would do, but you don't know until you're in it.
Right.
It was a good line.
Yeah.
No, it was a great line. And Shyamalan, of course, wrote and directed this and had his little Stanley Hitchcockian cameo.
It's a little more than that. It always is for him, though.
But it is, yeah. He always delivers at least a couple of lines and
Yeah.
isn't an entire scene. So, has there been a movie that he's done where he's not? Is he in Last Airbender?
I don't know.
You'd be the only one
I
who's
didn't
seen
watch
it.
that.
I've
movie.
seen it.
I've seen it, but I don't remember.
I've seen it.
You know, you never seen it?
I chose not to watch that.
How do you know it's bad then?
Because it's
Can't judge a
fairly
book by
widely
its
known.
cover.
It's bad.
He's
I
seen
saw it. It's
Actually,
bad.
I'm curious on that. All right, we'll get to that in a second. We're getting a
talk
little ahead of
about
ourselves.
that.
So, all right, so let's rate this film. See it in theaters. Wait for it to stream. Don't see it.
See it in theaters.
See it in theaters.
Yeah.
Worth the price of admission.
See it in theaters. Even if you're this is actually a really good movie for somebody that doesn't like horror movies, but like,
What's that thrill?
but friends want to go see it or things like that. Like, it's not that scary, like at all. There's not a lot of jumps, which is a big one for people. Just hate jump scares. Like, that does not.
I
Really
actually
happen in
thought
this
that
movie at
going
all.
into it that I wasn't.
Which is
didn't
again
want to jump.
maybe a reason for me why I thought it was a little like the pacing.
Someone who's like a horror phenomenon.
Yeah, like it was a slow burn, but it never like caught fire for me.
I can get that.
I feel like I'm belittling this movie, but
No.
it
But you're really not.
No,
Yeah. I
no.
understand.
is good, but it was not incredible.
Yeah.
I'd still see it in theaters though because it was very interesting.
I would say see it in theaters just for. I mean, I really loved his performance. Like the one scene where he's talking to his therapist and he switches from one personality to the next.
Yeah, he does kill it.
Like just his whole. It's not just his voice that changes. His whole body. It looked like his whole body structure changed.
His mannerisms,
like
really switched to,
everything
yeah.
was.
Well, there's a scene where you see a personality overload, and
Yeah.
you get for him to be able to switch on a dime to 7 to 8 different people.
Yeah, and not just like I said, not just his voice, not just his face, his whole body changed into this different person. It's so incredible as an actor to watch.
There was one problem that I had. First time, so Hedwig is the little boy. So a little boy inhabits him, or however you want to phrase it. Hedwig, in the first scene we see Hedwig, he shuffles around on his feet. He bends his knees and walks around like so that he's a short person. And Hedwig does not do that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that
I'm
bothered me a
guessing
little
that at
bit,
some
too.
point McAvoy was like, "Guys, I'm not doing this."
Or
like,
maybe
I'm
it was just
standing
like a
up.
playful thing that the character did.
Question mark?
It could have been just like
No.
a playful. I know, but I agree with that. I would have liked to see him. do
No,
that
because
the
that
entire
wouldn't
time.
make like that's just you can't maintain that.
Right.
As a human
You're
being.
like,
Also,
"Hey,
it was
come down the
really
hallway
a
with
really
me."
creepy
Oh my
moment.
god.
It was a really creepy moment when he did that too.
Yeah,
Like a-
that was just a little jarring for me. When it's
Yeah.
like, did Hedwig grow up really quickly, or what's going on?
But
See,
I
I didn't
also,
even
like-
tell that. I couldn't even tell you that he did that. That
Really?
I forgot all about that.
My favorite.
Yeah.
I also liked when he asked to kiss her, and she like in her head was like, "Yes, like I have to play along with these games because otherwise."
James McAvoy once in a lifetime.
Also, and I was like, "That lucky bitch."
Maybe not in this scenario.
Not in that scenario, but-
I'll also say go see it in theaters, but with seeing it in theaters comes
Trailers.
exactly. So Garrett, where is our next destination on this movie train?
All right, so we've got a couple choices. We've got The Circle, which is a movie starring Emma Watson. She gets hired on at a tech company that is led by Tom Hanks. Starts to find out that, like one of the lines that Tom Hanks says in the movie is, oh shit, what was it?
Beware the Ides of March.
No, it was something along the lines of like, if we know enough information to make things better, why not know all the information and know and make everything best? It's basically like a Big Brother sort of scenario where it's like, she starts feeling kind of second thoughts of like, do I want to be working with this company? Like, what are the actual morals with this company, sort of thing? Like, and so it's starring Emma Watson, Tom Hanks, John Boyega's in it. It looked pretty interesting, but that doesn't come out until April 28th.
Okay. Next
So-
on our list.
Not a
That's
big fan.
John Wick 2.
we're seeing.
Which I think we were
but
planning
are,
on.
yeah,
We were
under the
planning on
impression that we were
seeing
seeing that.
Cut
so.
that off. We've got Rings, which is in theaters
Yeah.
right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it in theaters now?
either that or it just came
Or it's
out.
a-
I
I
just
I
saw
didn't
like the
hate
little.
that trailer. I didn't hate it.
I actually like the concept because we're no longer in the VHS
Right.
digital.
Yeah.
It's just streaming on your Facebook page. Like
That's
you
what
don't
I'm
know,
hoping
like-
it's like at the end. It's like an onslaught, like almost a like zombie horde of just
Yeah.
Samaras. Like the chain. It's like if a chainmail letter became real.
I feel
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, there's just people dying everywhere.
I feel like this version of the movie would have worked a lot better like 10 years ago, when chain emails were like a big thing.
Like-
Oh, you're talking about like the current probably Rings
Yes.
storyline. Yeah, I agree. Like I think it needs even more escalation in the world we live in now, where it's almost similar to like what we made fun of last week with the Bye Bye Man, to where like you can't escape this thing because it's everywhere.
I really have a soft spot in my heart for these Ring movies, especially the first Ring movie, because it was the first movie that I watched besides Child's Play. So I guess it was the second movie that I watched and was terrified. This movie
Right,
did
yeah.
such a good job originally when it came out, and I'm interested to see where this goes, because they told Samara's story. Like,
yeah.
in progressively as the movies went by, like they covered. I don't know what they're going to introduce next to make that compelling. I don't know. I'm interested to see it though, because I really do love the character, and I enjoyed how the movies progressed.
But yeah, that's either out now or next week, and that'd be too quick of a turnaround, I think, for
Yeah.
us.
Okay.
So
We've got Life, which is a movie starring Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal, a few other people. They're stationed on a space station out orbiting Earth, and they catch this satellite. The satellite has collected a microorganism that is like the first sign of life outside of Earth.
that's
And it's never clear in the trailer, but like it either breaks out or it like infects somebody, and
It grabs hold of something.
and then like it's their inner clashings of like, what do we do, like how do we escape this, so how do we quarantine this to make it safe, sort of thing. So
Well, Rebecca Ferguson's in that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her in Mission Impossible.
yeah, no, she's very good. This trailer reminds me so much of the first Alien trailer.
that's what I was gonna say.
Like
I need to watch this
That's
trailer.
what I thought,
they
too.
play Kennedy's going to the moon speech over just about the entire trailer, and it's very just like ominous. Like I actually really want to see this movie.
I do too.
But like I said, it may be my expectations get too high because I'll go in expecting something as good as Alien.
Yeah.
Because that was a
I'm not
great
gonna
trailer.
lie, I for a split second I thought it was an alien movie.
Yeah, I would agree. Yes.
I was like, oh, is this?
I'd be
I've
okay with
heard
that.
about this,
I'd be
like-
okay with that.
I thought it might have been like the Alien Covenant.
Yeah,
trailer or
I definitely
something.
thought it was.
That one comes out March 24th.
I bet Ryan Reynolds is going to go on a tear here pretty soon.
It's a possibility.
'Cause he's been successful with Deadpool, and I mean, he told Blake Lively to do that shark movie, which got
Which was great.
got
Apparently.
really great. So it seems like he's starting to develop an eye. I mean, that might be misguided over just 2 movies, but I wouldn't be surprised
I'll
to see
agree with
like him take some interesting choices.
We had A Cure for Wellness, which was Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, it's Dane
Okay.
DeHaan, and it basically you could title this Shutter Island 2, I think.
Yeah, I thought it looked really.
He titled it
cool.
a lot of things. I thought it looked dope.
I thought it looked super cool.
I didn't really understand a lot what was going on. In another trailer of that I watched, he's like some sort of investigator or something, and he goes to this asylum to check in on something, and ends up becoming a patient.
I think it's like his lawyer. He's like one of the
Lawyers'
CEOs
assistants
of
or
their
something?
company or something
Yeah.
is like at a retreat or something out there, and they want to bring him back because
That's
he's
what it
losing
was.
his mind or something to do with the business. So he gets sent in. I don't think I think he might just be like an attorney or something, or
Well,
like
he
a
breaks
lawyer
his leg.
that's brought in to like get him,
Right. Well,
and then
I
he
mean,
breaks his
Like,
leg,
breaks
and then
his
you know
leg and
they.
then-
But if he ends up becoming a patient, I'm screaming Shutter
No, he
Island
does.
sequel.
He does.
No,
It
no.
says
The
that.
entire time. That's what Shutter Island was. You thought he was an investigator, and then he's
Oh, I don't
actually,
think that'll happen based
No, I
off
don't
you
think
saw
so.
like there was like a
She
little
came in-
bug in his drink or something like that. I think
Yeah.
there's more of a. I think there's a
looks
supernatural
super
element to it.
Okay.
Because
which
she says
interests
to
me.
him, "No one ever leaves here." And I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be interesting."
That I don't think there's been a psych ward in the history of movies that
Right?
says
So
that.
it's like, no one ever leaves here.
Everyone-
I'd be more surprised if
That's
someone was
true.
leaving a psych ward and the lady was like, See ya.
Everyone,
Like, what? What do you mean, see ya?
everyone leaves here.
They're just letting psychos out.
So hard to keep people.
After seeing all these, though, 2017 looks like a strong year for horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the last one. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the last trailer that I walked in late, the only one that I saw was Get Out.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
This looks so good.
Get Out looked really
That's-
good.
that's on
2017
my list
horror
here.
movies. What up with it?
We had Chips, which was Michael Pena and
God.
It looks funny.
Dax Shepard.
But
There
do we
were
wanna
parts
go
that
that way?
looked funny, but here's the thing. I'm now getting tired. I'm still excited for Baywatch because this is where I'm going to bring it
Yep.
up. But I'm now getting tired with the running joke. It seems like 21 Jump Street has started this trend of, we used to be a TV show. Now we're going to acknowledge that we used to be a TV show and we're doing a movie, and let's do a movie with it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is building upon itself, so we're going to get 21 chips or something stupid, like,
Well, a
and
lot
being
of
like,
that is-
the movie universe you didn't know you wanted. Like, I'm waiting for that trailer.
Baywatch did what it had to do and got
The Rock.
The Rock. Big name actors. Sorry, Michael Pena
Efron.
is not. He's not carrying a movie by himself.
Dax Shepard
Dax
is not.
Shepard is not carrying a movie by himself. Baywatch did everything
Kristen
right
Bell's
with
in
this
it too,
formula. It seems like Chips is not doing that.
But I would argue that Michael Pena could be the best actor you could get for that role, because you have to cast a Latino American in the Poncho role, I think what it is or whatever. Oh my God, I am completely blanking on the dude's name who played him in the original Chips. Like, he became like
Oh, this is a remake?
Oh, Estrada.
Look,
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada, yeah. Oh, this is a 70s show.
Yeah.
shit.
Eric Estrada
Or
was like
an
the,
80s show. TNT used to
man of
play
the
this
hour.
every freaking like 5 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Yeah.
when we were young. It's not great.
Is he Chibs? Isn't Chibs one of them?
I think so. Yeah. So I'm saying you have to get someone in that role, and I think
Yeah.
Pena would be the best fit for that.
I would only see it because I want to see Kristen Bell and
Dax Shepard.
act together.
You can just
As
watch all their
husband and wife.
stupid commercials.
Yeah.
This would probably be a movie.
I mean, we're
though,
not
that
seeing it. So
Yeah.
I would
No,
sit.
we're out.
I
It's
would
out.
sit in this theater the whole time and just wait for Estrada to show up, and then just be like, "Fuck you." I don't want a cameo with him in it, just because he's still been doing that.
Oh, since the
yeah,
dawn of
yeah,
time.
that's the only thing he's doing.
you know he's going to be in it then.
Yeah, so it's like it's not gonna be unexpected. It's gonna be like, "Whoa, he showed up! Nuts!"
Actually, that if I see this movie eventually and he's not in it, I would be like, what? Like, not a damn thing.
go.
Like, I actually would be like that.
Yeah. Same with the asylum situation. If they're like, "See ya," like it's expected.
Yeah.
All right, next.
We had The Mummy,
I think we're seeing that
looks
as
awesome.
well.
It
Okay.
looks awesome.
and then we had Get Out.
When
Get
does
Out looked so good.
Get Out comes out next month.
next month?
The premise for that was like, kind of blew my mind a little bit. It's kind of.
So I think we're at a crossroads here, and
We got to get out
Do you
of the
wanna
horror element at some
explain
point.
Get
We
Out?
want to get out of the horror element.
I think we should.
Okay.
do we want to do it now though? I mean, my personal votes are for Life or Get Out.
Yeah.
I would say Life, because I think that's going to steer us. I like this baby steering in lots of different directions. I think
Yeah,
if we see
Life
Get
could-
Out, it's going to keep us in this genre.
Yeah.
I
Only-
think
only-
Life could also kick some sci-fi stuff out.
Only
too.
downside of choosing Life is that that's March rather than February.
It's like a month.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Our last one was
I vote
October.
Life.
I'd say that.
Again, another movie. I would be more likely to see Get Out than I would Life, so I like to challenge us to see movies we would normally see.
Okay.
Okay, so we will jump back on the movie train at the end of March with Life.
Can there be good without evil?
It's probably a question for your priest.
I'm Jewish.
Really? Shalom.
What?
Never mind.
That good evil thing was in my head because I was watching Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan.
It's M. Night. You don't say M. Night. It's M. Night. No Ma.
No, it's Ma. Like Thomas Howell or Murray Abraham.
I don't think so.
No Ma?
No Ma.
Well, that's funny. Because we were bowling the other night and he says, "Man, no one ever says my name right." I said, "Ma, you got two bigger problems than that. One of them is that 710 split you left for yourself. And the other one is how about trying to write a movie without a big twist ending?" Well, he took offense, got pissy, wouldn't talk to me for a good hour, but he loosened up on the hayride.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a true story.
Split was written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, or M. Night for short, and we thought we'd go back and look over his movie catalog, because the truth is, when you walk into an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you expect a twist. At least I think majority of the public expects a twist. Are there, or at least that's the vibe I'm getting from
I
them.
attribute
Yes.
I attribute that to Family Guy.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time anybody talked about M. Night Shyamalan without somebody saying, "What a twist."
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Oh, you attribute that only to Family Guy? See, I was just going to say just because of The Sixth Sense, people always assume there's a twist coming from his movies.
Well, that's the big thing to drive home is like people even say that some of his movies have twists that don't have twists.
Yeah.
They're just a plot. Something happens in the plot, and they're like, "Whoa, what a twist!" It's like it's not a twist.
It's a plot.
So I will be here to
Okay,
call
so-
out when these twists aren't
All right,
twists.
so here we go. What is the definition of a twist in a movie?
A twist is something that turns the original plot or a character in a major way on its head.
Yeah.
Thus twisting what is happening and what you thought the movie was about.
Yeah, usually unexpected.
There's always unexpectedly. It
Yes.
should be. Otherwise,
Should be.
you suck.
Right, exactly.
So his first movie, none of us have probably seen.
Stuart Little.
No.
God.
So I'm only going to name. So should we? Okay. So how should we break this down? Should we do ones that he's written and directed? You know what I'm saying? So
Just go down the whole shebang.
the whole shebang.
I mean, I have
Okay.
Except for those early ones that like we don't know about.
I was about ready to say the first one that he would have done that was it was a major release would have been Wide Awake, which just pulling this film up stars Dennis Leary and Rosie O'Donnell.
what?
There's
Nope,
a twist,
didn't see that one.
No, we don't have to worry about that one.
but then it goes to The Sixth Sense.
Can I just say though, real quick, that in Googling Shyamalan, I call him by my fake name for him, with his Shyamalong, so much that I just type that in on accident.
yeah.
Now it's all I do. Anyway, Sixth Sense. That's a twist.
Yeah.
It's a great twist.
It's
It is what
what
the
makes
modern day twist, I think, is almost like the reason. This is the first movie I can remember people being like, this is the movie, because it's kind of at the birth of the internet as we know it, and people are like, don't ruin this movie for people. Like, I remember people being upset that this movie was ruined for them when it came out on video, because someone would rent it and watch it, and then they talk about it with someone else.
Yeah.
And this is still pre-social media, pre-everyone having a computer, and people would get upset about something that was on video. Nowadays, we can't even be like, dude, it's been out a month. You know what I'm saying?
You can't even say, dude, it's been out 3 days, and they're
Yeah.
already posting this twist. Even for this one, when did this movie come out that we last saw?
Friday.
Friday. I'm already seeing posts that are like, can you believe this twist? But then it has pictures of it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking? It's dumb.
Damn it!
But also, Sixth Sense is a great movie.
Yes.
And I mean, the
Well, it was
quote,
nominated
"I
for
see
6
dead people,
Academy
I've been
Awards.
out," you
This
know,
is the only
people
time he's been
saying it.
nominated for Best Director.
Sorely overlooked for Avatar. But we'll talk about it. Yeah, so, I mean, solid movie.
Oh, sorry. You say Avatar. My
Airbender.
Yeah, I flash red and see James Cameron. So,
Flash red.
Those avatars can't bend.
I don't know. So we'll include the ones he's written as well, just so you can have your fun with this, Sam. But Stuart Little,
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
okay.
You haven't seen it?
No, shut up. It's Stuart Little.
What?
I love Stuart Little. Nostalgia.
Well, I mean, that was a pretty big movie when we were kids.
Yeah.
When's the last time either of you thought about Stuart Little?
Today,
When you said it.
Yeah, not in a long ass
Oh no,
time.
I'm not saying like it was memorable. I'm just saying like I'm surprised you didn't see it when you were a kid.
When
is
did
all.
it come out?
It was
99.
I don't remember any of us talking about it when we did our cast over late 90s movies. Stuart Little, 99. What a year.
He's got us there, Garrett.
Yeah.
Next, Unbreakable, which written and directed. And I guess the twist would be that it is a comic book movie in the end. Or is that fairly well done late? I mean, early on in the... Or is the twist that
I don't think
been,
it's a twist.
Okay, well, is the twist then the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was really behind everything during the movie? Because he's supposed to be his mentor throughout, and then you find out he's the villain of the piece.
Yeah, that one's kind of... But doesn't it always seem like there's like something going on there? Like there's something else going on.
You just know that he's his opposite, but it doesn't go so far as to say hero-villain opposite. Just you think more along the lines of like, well, you clearly can't be broken. I break by, someone touching me in the shoulder. So, like, we're opposite ends of the spectrum. I think was the, actually, for the most part, what I remember is that's the vision they played.
Yeah, it's just he was
entire time.
diagnosed with a ridiculous disorder, and so he wanted to find his counterpart. And yeah, I mean, it kind of plugs it in the whole time because he's a comic book art dealer. So it's like, you're kind of versed in this world of comics, and he's like pushing him to be a hero and like do things anyway. So it's not like the twist is that, oh, it's a comic book movie. I guess you could say that. Yeah, I suppose you could say it's a twist.
Next, Signs with Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson, and a lot of the crappiest aliens I've ever seen on screen.
Not a twist.
But they don't like water.
That's a plot device. The only twist that I've ever seen is that the theory that they're not really aliens but they're demons,
I haven't seen
and
that.
that all that water is holy water
Interesting.
Whoa. Okay.
because he's a ex-pastor. I guess he's just blessing water still. It's like I still got it. Baby. He's got the juice.
I'm watching that film that way from
Good
now on.
movie.
Actually, okay, you want to know?
Actually, I don't like that movie very much.
Here's the thing.
to be
No,
honest.
that's what I'm about to say. That is a movie that is the perfect example of seeing something in theaters as opposed to seeing it on TV or in your house. I remember watching that movie in theaters and thinking, I'm talking like, granted, yes, we're younger, but I'm talking about maybe like a 6-month gap here, or however long it took for movies to come out on video back in 2002. So I was 14. I remember seeing that movie in theaters and being scared at points. Like, I remember thinking, like, this was great, like the tension and the sounds and everything building. And then I remember watching it on TV and being like, this is nothing like I remember my experience in the movie theater at all.
So you were younger, a little bit, or did you see it right after it came out again?
We rented it immediately.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we were, yeah. That was my same. So like, okay, granted, yes, this was 10 plus years ago, but what my examples are less than a year apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also the allure of like you still don't quite know. What they did a great job of in that movie was
Keeping them hidden.
teasing you until you get that big reveal, and it's for a second. And we're in a world where you can't quick rewind. You can't like, oh, let me see that again. Let me watch that again. Let me watch that again. It's like, oh man, whoa, did you miss it? Oh, I was eating popcorn for a second. Like I didn't see it. Like it happens that fast. That one scene where they walk across at the party, probably the most famous scene from that whole movie. But then when you see it a second time, that mystique is gone, and then you get to analyze it for what the movie really is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Next, The Village from 2004, starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Joaquin Phoenix again, Adrian Brody, William Hurt, and Sigourney Weaver. This one, I believe the twist is, because I've never seen this one, but I believe the twist is that you're led to believe that this is an olden time movie. And,
You're exclusively led to believe that.
Yeah.
okay. And the reality is it takes place in modern day.
Yes.
Well,
And this is an
Twist.
isolated
It's a twist.
vigil.
It's a twist, yeah.
The only part is that it bears nothing to the plot other than to be like, oh shit.
Because it's like the last part of the movie, isn't
It's
it?
the
Yeah,
very end.
the
Yeah,
very
they come
end.
across the wall, and she gets over the wall, and M. Night Shyamalan is there to be like, oh. He's just in like
That's his cameo there?
Yeah, he's not a cop. He's like a
Park
I haven't seen
ranger?
this movie in a while. No, he's like
can
a
see the
security.
scene,
He's like a security guard. And he's
Wikipedia
just like
says
sitting
the
in
head
a little
park ranger.
book. Oh, maybe he is the head park ranger outside of it. Yeah, and it's just everybody. All the elders were really rich people that wanted to get away from the evils of the world, and so they made this colony. And these things that you think are really big, bad, evil monsters are just guys dressed up, and you're like, oh, okay, so not that big of a
Yeah.
reveal, but then there's that. So there's like a secondary twist after a teasy twist. So I give that one has a twist.
Okay.
Lady in the Water, another one I did not see
Paul
I have not
Giamatti,
seen that
baby.
one.
at all.
It's interesting.
I couldn't even tell you what the supposed twist in this, or does it have a twist? Like
There's not really a twist. It's just kind of it's just plot. Like there's a twist.
this was his first flop, by the way.
Yeah, there's a twist where I think it's instead. So it's almost like a fairy tale comes to life, and this sprite character played by what's her name? Is it Bryce Dallas Howard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, played by her, needs to get a certain number. She needs a group of people. She needs a guardian. She needs all these people to help her get back home after like inspiring a writer to change the world or whatever. So there's still a bunch of different elements, but the only twist there was is that one, the writer who's going to change the world for the good is going to be killed because of it, and so he has to wrestle with those conflicts, which is again not a twist, it's just plot. And then the other one is that the guy that they thought was the guardian ended up not being the guardian, or the scribe or the decipherer or something. So again, no twists, just story.
Gotcha.
Next, The Happening from 2008, Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel, where...
And John Leguizamo.
Yes, and John Leguizamo. So how do you want to talk about this film? Because I'll just start by saying this. This movie was advertised as being Shyamalan's first R-rated film, and that got everyone excited.
It was R-rated, so they made on their promises. They didn't say it was his first good film. They didn't say it was his first amazing film.
Also was profitable, though, at the end of the day, sadly.
I like the idea of it.
I like the idea of Mark Wahlberg being a science teacher, too.
High school science teacher, let's not go crazy. So
Well,
he's teaching
he has his
collegiate.
limits.
I actually didn't hate this movie. I think I liked the idea of what this movie could have been more than I actually enjoyed what it actually turned out to be.
Gotcha.
Because they also sold it like really early on. Like I think there was like after they came out with some trailers, we were like, "What is going on? These people are just killing themselves." They did eventually. They were like, "Oh, I think it's something else. It's not a terrorist attack." Like, "Oh, well, there you go." And also, that's revealed in the very beginning of the movie. Not in the beginning of the movie, but like end of the first act. Somebody's like, "I bet it's the plants." Like, oh, so not really a twist.
More of a plot device again.
Yeah.
Next, The Last Airbender, which I've been assured by people who haven't even seen it that it is hot garbage. And
Sam has seen it.
I thought you said it was bad as well.
Yeah.
There you go. But have you seen it?
No.
There you go. See, assured by people who haven't seen it that it is hot garbage.
And by people that haven't seen it. Or have seen it, sorry.
This might be the
I've
first
seen
time where you get the classic Shyamalan joke. The twist was that it sucked. So dumb.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, you were. Cut you at the pass. Because you can use it for After Earth 2.
It legitimately broke even. The ironic thing is, though, it legitimately broke even at the box office. So for all it being
Yeah,
as
because a
bad
bunch
as
of
it
people
was,
wanted to see.
What it could have been.
I believe
Okay.
He calls him.
Here's my
Aang.
question.
Oh no, Ang.
Ong.
Here's my question. I legitimately did not know this was a movie based on a cartoon till 3 years ago. So I've always wondered what my, you know what I'm saying?
Why people were so
Why
upset.
people
No,
are
you know, not only why people were so upset, but had I seen this movie, would I enjoy it? Because we talk about this with comic book properties that we're not always familiar with, like Guardians of the Galaxy. We said multiple times before we went in, like, I think I'll really enjoy it because, like, it won't be something that I know all about. And
Right, you're not invested.
So me not knowing anything about The Last Airbender, would I have enjoyed this? I've always wondered.
Would you have enjoyed this
Would I
more?
have enjoyed this film?
No.
Not knowing.
I don't know if you wouldn't. That's tough to say.
No, I agree. That's why
You would
my
hate-
question.
You would probably hate it less because this movie really did shit on that show.
Okay.
It was big time. Just in, whitewashing was a big thing for this one too.
Yeah.
It was one of the more prominent ones where they didn't even really try. It's not a good movie just by the standard. I mean, I'm not an avid Avatar fan. I've seen my fair share of it, but even I thought this was garbage, and it's just a show that I don't care about. It completely belittled.
Okay. Fair enough. Next, he wrote but did not direct Devil.
It's kind of got a
I saw
twist. It's
Devil.
kind of
I
got
saw
a
it.
twist.
Is that a twist? Or is it a plot device?
It doesn't turn.
Basically, it's that there is a devil in the elevator.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it was a
You knew that was
twist.
happening.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's called Devil, so.
The only twist that you could argue is that it's the classic.
It's the old lady, but...
Well, it's the old lady,
Yeah.
and then on the other side of it, the classic. Oh my gosh, the guy whose parents or whose loved ones were killed. It ended up being that guy in the other part of the movie that did it. No, what?
I remember coming away from this movie just feeling sad and unfulfilled, but like I still enjoyed the movie.
I think we walked out of it and we enjoyed it.
We did. No, we gave
Like
it
I
high
enjoyed,
praise.
but I just was sad. I think after watching it, I didn't really understand why.
Do two half twists make a whole twist? Because that's the thing.
If it
might.
further or changes the story, I'll say yes.
Maybe I'm being pretentious or something about twists, but so there's a twist like what am I thinking of? Kaiser Soze, Usual Suspects. Like that's a twist because it turns everything that you just watched on its head.
So much so that even when trying to recall the film, you have to say Kaiser Soze
Probably
before
top,
you
top
can
10
figure
favorite
out.
top 10 favorite movie. Never remember the name of it. Never.
No, but I know you're not the only one who does that. Or I know people that have never seen the movie and know the name Kaiser Soze, so that just always.
Soze, yeah. He'll flip you. Flip you for real. Anyway, so that is a game-changing thing. It's a game-changing twist. It throws the entire movie on its head. In this, you get a twist of there's 5 people and this supernatural being is in one of the dead ones. Like it's not. I guess it's kind of a twist because it's slightly unexpected. But when you're dealing with a supernatural force like that, like it's not wildly unexpected.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider that a twist.
Next is After Earth with Wilson Jaden Smith, which some might argue almost killed not only Shyamalan's career, but Will Smith's career for a little bit as well.
The twist is
I
that there
didn't
was
see
no
this one.
twist. Were you gonna say that?
No. It
Damn
wasn't.
it.
This is another movie I didn't even see.
I didn't see
I
this
remember watching trailers for it. I had no desire to see it. I couldn't tell you one thing about this movie other than it has Will and Jaden Smith
Oh, I
in
can
it.
tell you so much about
Happens
this.
Okay,
after-
so-
after the apocalypse.
So we'll,
Give us a little bit of. There is no twist, correct?
no, there's no twist.
Is there a plot device that people mistake for a twist?
No.
Okay,
Jaden talks to a bird.
that's that. I think they were just filming one day. they weren't even
Might have
not
been.
even been acting. They were just rolling B roll and happened to get that.
It's an impressive movie. I mean, there's really like not that much to even talk about with
okay.
it. Like it's quite bad.
I remember watching the trailer for this and like thinking it looked like good visually.
Yeah,
Yes?
it was. I didn't see
this one,
it.
So
I mean, Will Smith did call
Okay.
it the most painful failure of my career. Sorry.
most painful failure. Of
Yeah,
my career.
he was quoted saying, "This was the most painful failure of my career."
I agree
I
because
again
I
have to
like
make this
Wild
joke.
Wild
Was
West.
the painful failure the movie
Or his son.
Or
or
his
his piece of
son.
shit son?
All right.
We'll never know.
I know.
This was a movie that I didn't see either, but wanted to see. I don't know if you ended up seeing it or not, but The Visit from last year.
No, but I know what the twist is.
Okay.
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
What is the twist?
So the twist is movie is I'll give you a quick synopsis.
Yeah.
Movie is mom of 2 children is estranged from her parents, and she has to go take care of something, and so she thinks it's unfair, yada yada yada. So she wants her grandchildren to finally meet their grandparents. So she puts them on a train, has them come pick them up. So they're spending time with the grandparents. The grandparents start acting very strangely when they get out of bed in the evening. They're freaking out. She calls mom, and it's like, "Mom, Grandma, and Grandpa are crazy," and it's fine. They're just old people. It's just strange. And then she finally sees I'm trying to remember what it was. If it's a Skype video or if it's
It says Skype.
It's a Skype. Yeah, it's a Skype video. And she's like, "Who the fuck are those 2 people?" Oh. And the grandparents really were 2 people that escaped out of the insane asylum, and the grandparents are dead in the basement. And they just took, and then they're just like, so the mom's just like, "Oh shit." That's a good twist.
Yeah.
I would watch that. Yeah.
Also, because just the idea of being a mother and seeing your kids
With 2 people
with
you don't
2 people you don't know.
Yeah, that's scary.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking
wanna
about
see
it.
that.
Yeah,
I know, I
dude,
wanna
like
see that.
nuts. Home run twist.
It is. You brought me back on board with this film because I'm not going to lie. The last line in the Wikipedia synopsis, or I guess plot details or whatever turned me off. Because here's what it says. The film ends as Tyler, to his sister's dismay, performs a freestyle rap recounting the events of their visit.
What?
That's the last line of the plot.
Shows that their youth, they still have their youth and their innocence. Yeah, I wanted
Damn.
to see it, but I didn't want to spend money on it, so I just wanted to know what the twist was, so I just Googled it. But I proceeded to watch the clips of like them acting strangely. It's so bizarre. I love the scene in the trailer, or with the trailer, where the grandma's like, "Honey, will you hop in the oven and clean it for me?" And you're like, "No!"
So I guess in summary, is the twist of Shyamalan's career that he doesn't always have twists?
Yeah, I mean, there was only like 3 or 4 on that whole list.
Yeah.
Visit. Did we give Devil One a nod or no?
No.
Visit, Village. Did we say Unbreakable or no?
A half-hearted twist.
Okay, then I'm going to count. Did we give Devil a half one as well? A half-hearted?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll combine that for one and we'll say 4, but we had to use 6 films to get to 4 twists out of his things. The one for sure is, we said, Sixth Sense, The Village, and The Visit. As usual, we end every episode with What's Piquing Your Interest, where we just say what's piquing our interest. Garrett, what's piquing your interest?
What's piquing my interest this week is Final Fantasy 15. Yeah.
A new game?
No, I mean, new-ish. I think it came out like...
Because I am completely unaware of the Final Fantasy
I think
universe.
it came out like late fall, early winter last year. But I got it this past week and have been really enjoying it. But at the same time, it doesn't have that same Final Fantasy feel. Because it almost plays like a free roam hack and slash is what it feels like. It doesn't have the turn-based system anymore, which was kind of the big staple with Final Fantasy games for the longest time. But I'm enjoying it as a game. Just I can't wrap around that it's a Final Fantasy game. It just doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game. So
Is it for all platforms still?
I do believe so. Yeah.
I've never played. They're not the same story, right? They're all
Correct,
individual.
correct.
They're all different Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess that goes back to our bringing it full circle, the last thing again, because it can't be final if there's another one.
True.
Sam, what's piquing your interest?
He stole my video game, piquing my interest. Resident Evil 7 comes out. This
Video game-ish?
yeah. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, not to be confused with the Japanese release. Biohazard 7 Resident Evil.
Dude, are they all called Biohazard?
All of them in Japan are called Biohazard.
Is the game called Biohazard in Japan?
Biohazard.
The game is called Biohazard Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
And this here, it's Resident Evil Biohazard. I don't know what they're doing. But it looks good. It's essentially, again, I think we talked about it a while back, but Resident Evil, but with a Texas Chainsaw Massacre twist. Ooh. So I'm into that.
Very nice. Natalie, what is piquing your interest this week?
We talked about a lot of things that I know about, but pop figures, they have a new line of Marvel pop figures coming out that I think look really cool. That's pretty much all I got. I'm sorry.
What's on this one that the others didn't have?
Here, let me just show you this picture.
They all have big eyes.
Say it.
They all have big eyes, you're right.
Say it.
I'm
You can
sorry.
just show me or tell me. Oh, they have Blade,
This is some damn good podcasting.
Black Lightning, and Iron Fist.
I didn't know I was going to be picking your
I got it. I
was
said
like,
Blade,
fuck.
Black Lightning, and Iron Fist.
Yes.
Blade looks cool.
I thought
Every once in a while, there's a pop figure individually that I don't think if pop figures were what they were,
that you would get.
I wouldn't get, but I
I've
want because
got
I don't.
Wolverine
I don't
on his motorcycle.
there are Legos that I want that I don't
That
get.
you don't get,
So
yeah.
I mean, there are tons of things that I want that I don't get. So I would not get it. No, but
They're the worst. And I'm not
hates
saying
them.
that because it's you. They're the worst thing
To happen to collectibles.
ever. Oh, you walk into the freaking Comic-Con, it's just a wall of... Who wants
That's
these?
true.
Apparently everyone.
I mean, it's the
I mean,
new
they're
Beanie
worth
Baby,
a lot
man.
of money. Yeah, they're
guess.
worth a lot of money. Now,
No,
too.
they're not.
Some of them are.
The Beanie Babes were worth a lot of money there for a little bit too. Pokemon cards. I mean, these were all over cons when they were really hip.
You're just being nostalgic.
I can pull up pictures if you want. I can prepare a full book report, on this.
PowerPoint book report. Go.
A book report, because I would like to say I'm quoting facts, but I know his first shot back is going to be.
I was trying to go full circle, like in a comedy, stand-up routine. And
Gotcha.
you close out on. If you want to be nostalgic about a show that's been out
If
for
you
a
don't
year.
care about piquing my interest.
Oh yeah, you still got to do it. No one does. What's piquing your interest, Joe?
So another movie that came out this weekend as well was The Founder, starring Michael Keaton. That is basically about the man who turned McDonald's into the fast food giant that it is today.
It's making a ton of money.
No, but I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to be Oscar bait.
Maybe.
And it does look good. I do really want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it too. It looks awesome.
However, that's not what's piquing my interest. It's just related to it.
Just give it a shout out.
What's piquing my interest, though, is McDonald's, because they now have different sizes of the Big Mac. You can go and get a Mac Jr., which is just a single patty, but it still has like the
Mac
special
Jr.
sauce and the pickles.
Does it have
and
the triple
lettuce.
bun?
No, because it's only one.
That's just a
It's just a sandwich.
It's just a cheeseburger
sandwich.
with the sauce on it.
Yeah.
No, because your cheeseburgers from McDonald's don't have the lettuce. Trust me, I know you. There's a lot more you'd scrape off the Big Mac than just the
Yeah,
sauce.
that's why I don't eat them.
And then they also have the Grand Mac, which is this does have the triple bun. There are two patties, and it's bigger, and it's a half pound of meat.
Oh.
As opposed to just like the Big Mac. Because I was under this impression as well. Like I was talking about this with people a couple months ago, where the Big Mac wasn't big to me anymore. Like I remember and it's not because I grew up or whatever. It's because other fast food chains have put
hands
out
got
bigger.
bigger.
Escalation.
Yeah, other fast food chains have put out bigger burgers. Like there wasn't the Hardee's thick burger when you were young. So the Big Mac looked big by other hamburgers in comparison.
Yeah.
Now the Big Mac just looks like a chubby double cheeseburger basically.
But I like the Big Mac because of that little middle bread.
But the Grand Mac does have that, and it is very filling. I had one last week. I hadn't been to McDonald's in 3 months, but that came out, and I walked to my closest McDonald's and had one. It was good.
All right. Oh, did we want to talk about those other movies that came out? Like Triple X and...
Triple X also came out
Resident
this
Evil.
weekend. Resident Evil comes out next weekend. Sam mentioned that. But yeah, Triple X also came out this weekend, too. Vin Diesel.
Are we going to see them?
We might talk about all of them next week.
Did you say, do we need to see them?
Instead, are we going to see them?
Oh, I heard-
Also, do we need to see them?
Probably also a fair question.
More on that next week.
Three Wise Radio is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.